The story commences with a moth gracefully fluttering around the street light. A young man stands, engrossed, gazing intently at a piece of paper in his hands. Meanwhile, a group of students animatedly discuss their plans to ride a boat that a generous friend has offered to lend them. In solitude, the student stands, deep in contemplation, lost in his own thoughts. The student reaches into his pocket and retrieves a folded paper, revealing his test results, which are dishearteningly low. In that moment, a moth delicately lands on the paper, as if drawn to the student's moment of disappointment. Startled by the sudden presence of the moth, the young man reacts impulsively, slapping the paper in frustration and uttering a curse under his breath. As the young man takes his leave, the unfortunate moth lands on the street, inadvertently breaking off one of its delicate wings. The story transitions to the bustling Namhang market, setting the stage for the next scene. A beaming mother stands with immense pride, overjoyed by the news that her son Young-guk has once again secured the top spot. Unbeknownst to the proud mother, her son Young-guk had secretly made alterations to his test result. By cunningly adding a curve to the number 1, he transformed his original score of 15 into an impressive 95. Young-guk, our protagonist, experiences a wave of disgust as a strong, fishy odor emanates from his mother. Blissfully unaware of Young-guk's discomfort, the mother, filled with joy over her son's accomplishment, encourages him to eat without noticing his reaction. Once the mother completes the food preparation, they both settle down on the floor and commence their meal together. As a caring mother, she ensured her child received an ample amount of food, asking him to eat more. Young-guk, feeling dissatisfied with the meal, chose not to eat it. He asked his mother, requesting money under the pretext of needing to purchase books for his studies. Around 10,000. Despite her financial constraints, the mother, filled with joy over her son's dedication to his studies, made the decision to provide him with whatever resources she had available at the moment. Young-guk stands outside, near the moth that he nearly caused harm to, contemplating his test result. Deep in thought, he ponders whether achieving a higher score would alleviate the overwhelming sense of guilt he is experiencing. As Young-guk walks through the school corridor, his frustration lingering, he makes the decision to head home. Along the way, he notices a crowd of people gathered around, captivated by a television interview featuring a renowned actor, Song Jung-sok. In the interview, Song Jung-sok opens up about his own humble beginnings, recounting his struggles with poverty. With newfound inspiration, Young-guk resolves to enroll in a theater-focused course. However, as he is called in for an interview, he contemplates his true motives. Deep inside, he realizes that his desire to pursue acting stems not from a genuine passion but rather from envy towards those in the spotlight. As Young-guk listens to the interviewer emphasizing the importance of innate talent in acting, he finds himself disinterested. The words, "acting is a talent. It is acquired from birth," echo in his mind. He contemplates how his low test score limits his options, relegating him to only consider the theater and cinema department at Hanyang University. As Young-guk receives the script to act, he delves into reading it, unknowingly immersing himself in the character portrayed within its pages. Lost in the lines, he fails to notice how seamlessly he has assimilated himself into the persona depicted in the script. That's when he decided to be a famous actor. After a few years have passed, Young-guk embarks on his acting career. However, he quickly discovers that it is not an easy journey, as he faces criticism and scrutiny for being considered a latecomer or an inexperienced actor. The challenges of being labeled as an old rookie in the acting industry begin to weigh on him. Struggling to sustain himself financially, Young-guk finds himself solely dependent on the income from small acting roles. In order to save money, he adopts a frugal lifestyle, going to the extent of only consuming water and neglecting his mother's attempts to contact him. The pursuit of his acting career and the financial constraints it entails consume his focus and attention. Undeterred by the challenges he faces, and driven by his unwavering determination to fulfill his dream, Young-guk takes up various odd jobs to sustain himself financially. During his free time, he tirelessly commits himself to memorizing scripts from his minor acting roles, recognizing the importance of honing his craft and expanding his repertoire. With unwavering dedication, he perseveres in his pursuit of success in the acting industry. After several more years of unwavering determination and persistent effort, Young-guk's relentless pursuit of his dream finally comes to fruition. Through sheer dedication and continuous improvement, he achieves his goal of becoming a remarkable actor, showcasing his talent and captivating audiences. His relentless pursuit of excellence pays off as he establishes himself as one of the finest actors in the industry, a testament to his indomitable spirit and unwavering passion. In a luxurious building, Young-guk engages in a conversation with his mother, expressing annoyance. She expresses her desire to witness him receiving an award, regretful of having missed many such events in the past. However, Young-guk declines her request, feeling embarrassed at the thought of people seeing her and potentially causing discomfort or awkwardness. Young-guk receives a devastating phone call informing him that his mother's time is running out. Overwhelmed by the news, he rushes to the hospital, where he finds his mother in a weakened state. Seeing her frail condition, Young-guk's heart aches with the realization of the hardships she endured throughout their lives. In that moment of clarity, he understands the true reason behind his relentless pursuit of a successful and fulfilling life, to provide his mother with the comfort and happiness she deserved. Young-guk finds himself overwhelmed by regret and grief by his mother's passing. He decided to end his life as punishment knowing that he was going to hell. In a poignant moment, Young-guk hears a voice that resembles his mother's and, to his astonishment, sees her sitting in front of him. Overcome with emotion, tears stream down his face. 3 months after Young-guk's emotional turmoil, as he heads to school, a voice calls out his name, capturing his attention. As he turns around, Young-guk notices Jinseop and is asked about his activities. He responds, mentioning that he is focused on studying. In his thoughts, he contemplates the need to explore alternative paths, acknowledging that pursuing acting may not be feasible for him. Deep in thought, Young-guk realizes the importance of making his mother proud. Motivated by this sentiment, he resolves to find a path in life that will make his mother proud and happy. Inside the classroom, the teacher makes an announcement, sharing the news that someone has achieved a significant milestone and secured the 12th place in the rankings. To everyone's surprise, it is revealed that Young-guk is the one who accomplished this feat. The teacher offers congratulations to Young-guk and requests him to visit the principal's office. Upon receiving his paper, Young-guk's expression turns visibly disappointed, leaving the teacher perplexed by his unexpected reaction. Young-guk's disappointment stems from his dedication and hard work, as he had hoped for a higher ranking than the 12th place he achieved. Despite his efforts, he had set his expectations higher, leaving him with a sense of dissatisfaction and longing for better results. Inside the principal's office, the teacher questions Young-guk about his sudden improvement in the rankings, raising the suspicion of cheating. The teacher points out that in the previous midterm exam, Young-guk was ranked last, creating a stark contrast with his current 12th place position. In response to the teacher's accusation, Young-guk assures them that cheating was not a possibility. He explains that his current rank is a result of his efforts and hard work, emphasizing that he was surrounded by fellow students who lacked motivation and were often considered lazy. Young-guk, sensing the teacher's persistent doubt, suggests the possibility of retaking the exam to prove his abilities and dispel any suspicions. He expresses his willingness to go through the process again until the teacher is satisfied with his performance and acknowledges his efforts. The teacher, taken aback by Young-guk's response, falls silent for a moment, contemplating the significant transformation in his attitude and determination. With a sense of wonder, the teacher instructs Young-guk to return to the classroom, filled with curiosity about the extent of his personal growth and the changes he has undergone. As Young-guk walks towards the training field, a soccer ball unexpectedly rolls towards his feet. Some of his friends invite him to join their game, but he politely declines, mentioning that he is currently occupied with other commitments. Returning to the moment of regression, tears stream down Young-guk's face as he sees his mother before him. Overwhelmed by emotions, he calls out to her, his hand instinctively reaching out to touch her face. In his bewildered state, he wonders if this encounter is merely a figment of his imagination, a dream he has conjured up in his mind. To his amazement, Young-guk realizes that everything before him is indeed real. In a moment of introspection, he gazes up at the sky, contemplating the circumstances that have unfolded. With a mixture of gratitude and curiosity, he silently questions whether this is an opportunity, a second chance presented to him to make things right. Young-guk's mother is taken aback to see him in the market, aware of his aversion to certain smells. She expresses surprise, wondering what might have brought him to a place where he typically finds discomfort due to the strong odors. Young-guk, determined to lend a hand, puts on an apron, surprising his mother who is accustomed to him never assisting with the fish-selling tasks. His willingness to help makes her mother starts to panic. Whispering to himself, Young-guk acknowledges that he has never been to the Namhang market before. The thought of selling fish used to bring him a sense of shame and embarrassment. But this time it will be different. Observing the fish being sold, Young-guk feels a surge of inspiration and takes it upon himself to rearrange the display, considering how the fish can be presented more attractively. His mother watches with a touch of concern, worried that the boxes might be too heavy for him to handle. Young-guk looked at his mother and expresses his heartfelt desire to lend a helping hand. Reflecting on his previous life, he recalls that acting wasn't always his sole focus. He reminisces about the various odd jobs he undertook to make a living, such as being a driver, carrying cargo, and even selling fish, in which he was very good since he learned it when he was young. Recognizing his prior experience in selling fish, Young-guk decides to take charge. With a burst of confidence, he slams the basin onto the floor, creating a loud noise that grabs everyone's attention. He raises his voice, skillfully projecting and shouting to draw the attention of potential customers, showcasing his aptitude for commanding the bustling market environment. That shocked his mother. As Young-guk successfully grabs the attention of passers-by, his mother can't help but feel a sense of unease, worried about the unconventional approach he has taken. However, undeterred by her nervousness, he perseveres in his advertisement. With enthusiasm and conviction, he highlights the various types of fish they have available and emphasizes their exceptional quality, skillfully enticing potential customers with his persuasive words. While Young-guk carries on with his engaging sales pitch, we are introduced to Choi Eun-sok, the renowned author of The Man in August, accompanied by a seasoned supporting actor from various dramas. Engrossed in their conversation of looking for a possible talent they can recruit, their attention is unexpectedly diverted towards our protagonist, Young-guk, who stands out amidst the bustling market scene, capturing their curiosity. Intrigued by his confident presence and captivating mannerisms, they find themselves drawn to observe his actions more closely. Young-guk's unique and energetic approach to selling fish proves to be a resounding success. People are not only attracted by his vibrant personality but also appreciate his genuine knowledge and passion for the products he offers. His engaging sales technique resonates with the customers, who find themselves drawn to his stall and showing a genuine liking towards him. The positive response from the crowd further fuels Young-guk's confidence and motivation as he continues to excel in his newfound role as a fish seller. After the bustling market hours come to an end, Young-guk's mother is seen diligently packing up their mobile store. As he approaches her, Young-guk calls out to get her attention and proudly presents a fruit basket gifted to him by another vendor, exclaiming that it was his lucky day. His mother, pleasantly surprised to see him still in the market when he should be resting, wonders why he stayed behind. In a gesture of support and determination to assist his mother, our protagonist takes the box she was carrying, relieving her of the burden. He then offers her the fruits from the basket, emphasizing his willingness to help in any way he can. The act showcases his genuine concern for her well-being. Young-guk's mother remains motionless, gazing at him with an expression that perplexes our protagonist. Feeling a mixture of concern and confusion, he approaches her and inquires about her well-being. However, his mother simply responds by suggesting they head home, stating that she has had a difficult day. Young-guk, thinking to himself, is there something wrong? Just as Young-guk was about to inquire about his mother's state, they are approached by someone who requests a moment of their time. Assuming it's a potential customer interested in purchasing fish, Young-guk's mother informs them that their stock has already been sold out. The man expresses his desire to speak specifically with Young-guk, leaving his mother both perplexed and concerned. She wonders about the nature of the conversation and the reason why this person is specifically interested in speaking with her son. Her worry deepens as she tries to anticipate the purpose behind this unexpected interaction. Young-guk wondered if has done something while reminiscing what he did in his past life. Assuring them that he means no harm, the man hands over his calling card and introduces himself as an actor affiliated with the KBC company. He emphasizes that he is not a stranger with ill intentions, aiming to put their minds at ease. As Young-guk remains puzzled by the situation, his mother's surprise grows, and she asks the man with a hint of astonishment if he is the person responsible for producing the program they are referring to. As the man introduces the lady beside him as author Son Eun-sok, a wave of surprise washes over Young-guk. Though he may not immediately recognize her face, her name rings a bell. He recalls that Son Eun-sok is a renowned author whose works have turned into blockbuster hits, earning her widespread acclaim in the industry. Young-guk's mind is filled with weariness as he ponders the perplexing circumstances of encountering a future director and renowned author from his past life. He finds himself questioning the inexplicable connections between his present and past experiences, unable to comprehend the underlying reasons behind these unexpected encounters. The man compliments Young-guk on his beautiful voice and gets straight to the point, asking if he would be interested in becoming a child actor. This revelation shocks his mother, who hadn't anticipated such an opportunity presenting itself. The man further expresses his belief in Young-guk's talent, encouraging him to consider the offer and assuring him that he is free to reach out if he is interested in pursuing a career in acting. Deep in thought, Young-guk reflects on his past experiences as an actor and contemplates the implications of pursuing a similar path once more. He realizes that he doesn't want to repeat the mistakes of his previous life, where his focus on his acting career caused him to neglect and bring suffering to his beloved mother. With a strong sense of responsibility and love for his mother, Young-guk decides that prioritizing her well-being and happiness is paramount. He silently resolves to find a different path that can provide stability and support for his family, ensuring that he can be there for his mother in every possible way. As the man extends his calling card, he politely asks for our protagonist's name. Young-guk, acknowledging the gesture, shares his name while silently reaffirming his decision not to pursue a life as an actor. Inside the faculty room, the teacher engages in a discussion with our protagonist about his future dreams. As Young-guk reveals his aspiration to become a civil servant, the teacher's expression turns perplexed. In all his years of teaching, he hasn't encountered many students who express such a career goal. The teacher, intrigued by Young-guk's unconventional choice, begins to inquire about his motivations and interests, trying to gain a deeper understanding of what led him to pursue this path. Young-guk explains to the teacher that his decision to become a civil servant stems from his desire for stability and financial security. He emphasizes that such a profession offers a reliable income and benefits, which would greatly benefit his mother. Young-guk's primary concern is ensuring his mother's well-being and providing a comfortable life for her. He believes that a stable job as a civil servant will not only fulfill his responsibilities as a son but also provide a secure future for both of them. The teacher is amazed by the level of maturity displayed by our protagonist. He notices a remarkable growth in Young-guk's mindset and communication skills, making their conversation feel like a discussion among peers rather than a typical teacher-student interaction. The teacher asks Young-guk about his plans for the upcoming summer break. Curious to know how Young-guk intends to spend his time, the teacher wonders if he has any specific goals or activities in mind. With determination in his voice, Young-guk shares his plans for the upcoming summer break. He expresses his intention to dedicate his time to fishing, as it is the peak season for it. Additionally, he expresses his desire to use this time to improve his English skills, showing his commitment to self-improvement and his recognition of the importance of language proficiency. The teacher expressed concern over Young-guk's plans that did not seem to involve having fun during his summer break. The teacher also mentioned a rumor that was slowly spreading about a young expert fish seller. Feeling bashful, Young-guk modestly admitted that he might be the young expert fish seller that people were talking about. He humbly mentioned a phrase, saying, "When the sea rises, it is necessary to pull the shovels to sell more fish." This indicated his understanding of the importance of taking advantage of opportunities and working hard during peak seasons to maximize sales. Feeling helpless, the teacher asked Young-guk to leave. As Young-guk was about to leave, the teacher called out to him. Curious, he turned around and caught a book that the teacher had tossed to him. As Young-guk looked at the book in his hands, he realized that it contained a compilation of valuable lessons. He felt a sense of gratitude towards his teacher for the thoughtful gift. Young-guk expressed his sincere thanks, appreciating the teacher's support and guidance. Recognizing the error of suspecting Young-guk of cheating on his last exam, the teacher humbly extends an apology, urging him to remain attentive to the well-being of his mother. The teacher, with a hint of hesitation in their voice, curiously inquired about the remarkable growth and maturity displayed by Young-guk. Young-guk answered because he died once. As night fell, Young-guk was late to get home and he was worried about his mother since he wasn't able to help her in the market. Just as Young-guk was on the verge of entering their house, something caught his attention. He halted in his tracks, his ears attuned to the faint whispers emanating from within. Curiosity piqued, he silently approached, positioning himself to eavesdrop on the conversation unfolding between his mother and the landlord. To his surprise and concern, he overheard his mother discussing matters of increase in overdue rent, revealing a hidden struggle that had been concealed from him. A wave of discontent washed over Young-guk as he grappled with the realization that despite having rented the place less than a year ago, the accumulated amount of increase had already become a pressing issue. The weight of frustration intensified as he recalled that they had also paid a deposit for the house, a payment that should not have been required. Confusion mingled with his unhappiness, as he pondered the unfairness of their situation, where financial burdens seemed to pile up unjustly, adding further strain to their already challenging circumstances. As he listened to his mother's voice like begging, asking for an extension or ample time for her to give the money, Young-guk felt very helpless. As Young-guk ran away, it startled his mother, thinking to himself how he should earn more money to lessen the burden of his mother. Leaning against the wall of the alley, Young-guk's frustration and helplessness weighed heavily upon him. Lost in his thoughts, he delved into the depths of his mind, desperately seeking a solution to acquire a significant sum of money, despite his current dire circumstances. Left with no other viable options, a sense of resignation settled over Young-guk. Accepting the harsh reality of his situation, he made his way to the closest phone booth. Retrieving the calling card that had been given to him, he dialed the number imprinted upon it. With the call finally connected, Young-guk wasted no time in introducing himself, referencing their encounter in the marketplace. With confidence in his voice he inquired about the amount of compensation he could get as if it was a done deal. The director just concluded the phone conversation with Young-guk. He was astounded by our protagonist's audacity inquiring about the financial compensation he would receive for his acting role. The director contemplates silently, acknowledging that while it is not uncommon for established actors to negotiate higher fees, it is unusual for newcomers like Young-guk to make such inquiries. Lost in his thoughts, he is startled when author Choi Eun-sok's voice breaks through, reminding him that everyone is eagerly awaiting his toast to commence the event. Prompted by Choi Eun-sok's insistence to return to the room, the director couldn't help but mention the phone call he received from Young-guk, piquing Choi Eun-sok's curiosity. They paused momentarily, and Choi Eun-sok pressed for more details about the conversation. Director Nim proceeded to explain the intriguing exchange he had with Young-guk, elaborating on their discussion about the potential remuneration for his acting services. The mere phone conversation had managed to make him break a sweat. I added the Nim in, which means Mr. in Korea, since the author of this manhwa has yet to reveal the director's name. Back to the manhwa story. Choi Eun-sok chuckled at director Nim's underestimation of Young-guk, highlighting the fact that he had prior experience as a skilled fish seller in the market. Director Nim acknowledged Young-guk's impressive acting skills, mentioning that she had witnessed them firsthand. However, he also recalled something that left Choi Eun-sok puzzled, adding a hint of confusion to the conversation. Director Nim expressed his amazement at Young-guk's manner of speaking, noting that it lacked any distinct regional dialect and instead resembled the speech patterns of someone living in Seoul, the capital of South Korea. This observation intrigued Choi Eun-sok. She raised an interesting point, mentioning that since Young-guk was known by everyone in the Namhang market as a fish seller, it would be expected for him to be a native of the region. Director Nim explained to her that even if someone lived in Seoul, their native dialect would often slip into their conversations, especially during moments of emotion or when they were caught off guard. This made the fact that Young-guk spoke without any noticeable regional dialect even more intriguing. Director Nim expressed his desire to cast Young-guk as the child lead actor, which came as a surprise to Choi Eun-sok. She couldn't help but wonder what made Young-guk stand out so much in the director's eyes, to the point where he was considering giving him such a significant role. He also mentioned that he has not completely read the script and the cast would also like to see Young-guk tomorrow. This confused her. He also mentioned how confident Young-guk with his acting as long as it's non-sexual. He was about to explain more when he was stopped by a shout from a staff prompting them to hurry. Inside the bar, while holding a shot glass, Director Nim was giving his toasting speech about their experience. He mentioned about the drama and theater is still alive. The feeling they experienced within the past days filled with excitement and nervousness. He also quoted what our protagonist said in their phone conversation that, cut a long story short, you must see to know. Then the drinking commences. As Young-guk is currently riding the bus he sits silently and starts to reminisce about his past life as an actor. He remembers about what he thinks about acting. The jobs he took from being a cleaner, then a theater actor. His admirations about his senior actors. being envious about the difference between them, like comparing his bug-like talent to a shining sun. The difficulties of always being in the shadows behind the scenes. By working hard until his nose bled. That's when he finally understood that by working hard he can achieve this talent. He also learned the difference between theater, film, and drama and how to utilize them. In a play which the viewers are closer, acting is best suited for theater. For films, direction is recommended. Proper camera direction also provides continuity of motion. Lastly, drama. This is where the authors have a big impact. He recalls that voice acting, breathing, movement, gestures and mimics has to be unique in every way. In his previous life, this is what he has learned. It took a long time for the word talent to crumble in his head. And only after his death he could ask, did he really try? Young-guk got off the bus. He was looking for the meeting place. He enters the Prince Hotel and saw how luxurious the place was. The thought that since Yeongdo is far from Busan and finding a place to stay is not easy, the only option they have is to stay at this place. Waiting at table was Director Nim. He stood up and called our protagonist. Young-guk sat down and politely declined the beverages that Director Nim was offering. Since Young-guk declined, Director Nim just decided to go with regular water. This reminded our protagonist about how considerate and kindhearted he was. Choi Eun-sok was surprised to see that Young-guk had arrived while holding the script in her hand. Young-guk stood up and received the script that was handed to him. Choi Eun-sok also mentioned that she can carefully read the script for today. If it's uncomfortable for him, she can leave. With confidence Young-guk answered that she's the author, so she should see it. Choi Eun-sok did not leave and sat down. She expects a good performance from him, she mentioned. While the three of them sat down comfortably, Director Nim jokingly said that Choi Eun-sok to stop, hoping to not put pressure on our protagonist. She just playfully laughed. Director Nim faced Young-guk and mentioned about the conversation they had yesterday about should and should not. After that he suggested if they can start reading the script and try playing out the scenario. Young-guk agreed while thinking to himself that in his previous life, he already read numerous scripts from minor roles to leading roles. The positions of the main character and other characters are different. If a main character makes a mistake, they can laugh it out and move on like nothing happened. However, if a side character like him made a mistake, they are considered guilty for wasting their time and resources. In order not to be edited out of the screen, each line is carefully written and read. Due to his past experience, Young-guk was able to develop a remarkable ability to easily memorize scripts and portray various roles. Young-guk raised his hand, capturing the attention of both Choi Eun-sok and Director Nim. They turned to him, curious to hear what he had to say. Young-guk asked if they can start. Confused Choi Eun-sok asked if he already completed reading all the scenarios in the script. Wanting to make sure, she said she would like to confirm. Feeling nervous, Choi Eun-sok said that it's been a while since she participated in script reading roleplay. She asks Young-guk in which part of the script they should start. With a confident answer he said, wherever you want to begin. This answer surprised Choi Eun-sok, thinking to herself, he wants her to choose where to begin. This only indicated that in a short time, he was able to memorize the script. Holding the script with both hands, Choi Eun-sok is still deciding which part she should start, at the same time thinking if Young-guk was talented or just overconfident. With curiosity in mind, she's eager to know. Without any delay she started reading out the lines from the script. Meanwhile, Director Nim was looking intently at Young-guk, wanting to know how he would respond. With experience under his belt, he started to get into the role, using drama as his catalyst. Delivering the lines from the script, reminding him that in drama, the dialogue is something that must be unfolded in a limited space and condition. With emotion visible from his face, and heard from his voice, he acted confidently, while in mind that, the role of the actor in a script is to show the viewers that the main character is in fact the actor at that point. This amazed Director Nim, the level of acting that Young-guk is showing. He imagined himself at the set filming at that moment. Young-guk continues to act visible on his face, voice the emotions of sorrow, disappointment, and anger at the same time. Joy, shock, deja vu. These are the words that keeps rolling inside Director Nim's mind. He could not find the right words to describe Young-guk's performance. He is thinking about silent film master Buster Keaton, in which Buster Keaton is an American comedic actor, filmmaker, producer and screenwriter. Dumbfounded with Young-guk's performance, Choi Eun-sok found herself speechless. In the world, there are many forms of expression. But for great actors, they're able to convey sadness in their expressionlessness face and have the capability to bring out happiness. The actor's responsibility is made sure that the audience can feel these emotions through their performance. Director was amazed by how Young-guk was able to gradually change his expression with every scene. He is able to effortlessly change his expression based on the scene. When he's yelling at his mother about the old shoes that should be thrown away, he displayed his angry expression. The expression of sadness, for feeling disappointed of not understanding him. And crying, for feeling miserable, living the life of a poor boy. As Choi Eun-sok delivered her line, Young-guk exploded due to the mixed emotions. He screamed like a boy who had lost everything. As director Nim observed Young-guk's performance solemnly. He keenly observed his every reaction, expression. He was waiting for the final trigger or the climax. And just like the breaking of a dam, Young-guk shouted, pouring all his emotions out. All of the resentment, frustration, sadness, disappointment, and anger. And just like a switch that was just turned off, he reverted back to normal and put the script on top of the table. Asking if his performance was good enough since he can't go any further. Both director Nim and Choi Eun-sok was surprised on how fast Young-guk changed. She asked how can he perform like that. Thinking of how to respond to her question, Young-guk just simply answered, because it was written in the script. The audition ended and Young-guk was outside of the hotel bowing to both of them for their time. Director Nim waved at Young-guk asking him to take care on his way back home and informing him that he will call him soon for the result. As Young-guk left, they found themselves dazed, unable to comprehend what just happened. Director Nim was the first who got back to his senses and wanted to get some fresh air to clear his mind. Meanwhile Choi Eun-sok was still motionless, unable to extricate herself from the experience she encountered. Curious about the performance, he asked author Choi if she intentionally chose a specific scenario from the script. Affirming director Nim's speculation, she directly chooses the scenario, wanting to know how our protagonist would perform under multi-stocked emotional scene. But what she did not expect is that our MC is a multi-talented. It is due to his past life of being a famous actor. Only now they realized why MC is so confident, especially memorizing the script in such a short time. Choi Eun-sok inquired him if he also has the capability of memorizing the script in a short time. Director Nim depressingly responded that he does not have the competence to do what Young-guk did. Inwardly thinking to himself, how could an obedient and sweet boy that loved his mother dearly from Namhang Market act like a disrespectful boy found in the script? He also purposely selected the script to see how Young-guk will overcome the challenge. He asked author Choi if she was able to see Young-guk's expression while acting. She affirmed that it gave her the chills and got goosebumps. Director Nim was too regretful to why he did not bring his camera to record the scene. He explains further how Young-guk was able to act according to the filming. He also describes that Young-guk was acting like part of theater performer, and not just a regular one, but a veteran to get a good result. He notices that Young-guk was acting according to his gaze, referring to his eyes as a camera lens. He reminisced the time when Young-guk was acting. He was focused on Young-guk's performance. He mentioned that Young-guk was making adjustment to his positioning and voice. At first, he thought that it was just a coincidence. So he moved a couple of times and observed how Young-guk also made adjustment according to his gaze. He asked author Choi's opinion if he also noticed the minuscule changes. To her surprise, she did not notice the changes due to her being immersed of playing the part of Young-guk's mother in the scene. She started to get goosebumps thinking to herself how Young-guk perfectly portrayed the role of Ha Jin Kim. Thinking to what our MC said, that's what it says in the script. She could not overcome the feeling of how calm Young-guk answered her question after the roller coaster ride of emotions. Director Nim also liked his performance and had started to compare him to someone who also had the same performance. Intrigued, author Choi asked, but he did not respond and remained silent while thinking, an actor who can immerse himself in the script and able to reveal more. He thinks deeper, wondering if Young-guk is a genius, able to accomplish a difficult task, and what kind of monster he will be in the future. He continues to contemplate, it's like we met a long time ago. It's like a great actor reading a script. A deja vu that will give you goosebumps. As a director he feels like his limits are being tested. Meanwhile a couple of seagulls found in the harbor. With a beautiful sunrise as the background, Young-guk is determined to help his mother. He's pushing their mobile store towards the marketplace. Worried for his son, Young-guk's mother said that he does not need to help her. With a white lie, he responds to her mother that due to unable to sleep again after waking up early, he decided to help out, using exercise as an excuse to help unpack the fish from the boxes, while saying to himself that he needs to work harder to lessen the burden of his mother. Young-guk felt a bit exhausted after unpacking all the fish from the boxes. He is satisfied seeing how good the display looks like. While waiting for the customers to arrive, he notices a man that looks familiar, wandering around like he was lost. He informed his mother he will be leaving for a while. That confused her. Young-guk approached the man who looked very worried and tapped his back while calling his attention, in which startled the man to scream. The man looked at Young-guk with confusion on his face. Young-guk asked if he played the role of Do-jung as an actor in Days of Joy. Still confused, the man asked if he knows him. He answered yes, while bringing back memories of his past life that prompted him to pursue an acting career. He continued to say that he is a big fan of Song Jung-sok.